Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of the Elevated Creativity Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Harris, aka John.
And I'm his co-host, Kwalanda, aka Q of Q Up Productions.
And today we have a very special guest today, and we want to introduce her. So I'm going to let Q do the honors.
So basically today's guest, if you're somebody who is into fashion, who's into style, who's looking to be a creative entrepreneur, looking to start your own business, if any of those things sound interesting to you, then this is definitely going to be a good episode for you to tune into. So I am going to read Miss Savitra, who is our guest today of New Era Style. Welcome to the show, Savitra.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to read her bio. And it's you guys got to really listen to this closely because we got some good stuff here just in the bio. So before we even dig deep into the interview, we're going to lay the groundwork to let you guys know a little bit about our guest today. So Savitra is a native of Pinewood, South Carolina. Again, shout out, John. We've had a lot of guests from like the Southeast. Right?
Most definitely. Shout out to the South. Come on now.
Right. She's a graduate of Clemson University. She received a Bachelor of Science degree in graphic communications, and then she later returned to earn her MBA. Okay.
Come on, Black Girl Magic. Let's get it.
Right. With a concentration in entrepreneurship and innovation. Her life's journey has been just that, a journey of self-exploration that has led her to a better understanding of her talents, her passion, and her purpose. So, futuristic, creative, visionary, entrepreneur, business savvy, boss are all big the boss. Words, big boss, that she would use to describe herself, but we would also use to describe her as well. And her natural ability to create, her love for business and desire for helping others have allowed her to embark on amazing opportunities. So she's the owner, as I mentioned before, of New Era Style, which is an online career and lifestyle boutique for working professionals, men and women, with a huge emphasis on philanthropy and education. That part I absolutely love. She has a professional career in business operations with expertise in performance analysis and change implementations. She's a Gallup's certified strengths coach. And I'm actually familiar with that, just a little sidebar, because at my job, we actually took the assessment to find the Gallup's assessment, to find out where we were. So that helps others to discover their identity and to use their talents for continued personal and professional growth. She's a certified fashion and lifestyle blogger. As you guys can see, just looking at her, she screams fashion.
Come on now. Styling and profiling. Styling and profiling. Somebody get a mop and catch the drip. Come on now.
Also an on-set wardrobe stylist for indie films she says on occasion, but that's a big part because that's how me and John connected with her. Okay. So to us, that's like the heartbeats of her.
Heartbeat. Most definitely.
She is a firm believer in a very, very popular scripture, Jeremiah 29, verse 11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and to not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And in the grand scheme of things, she uses her talents to build, create, help, and inspire others. Always remember that God can cause opportunity to find you, and his timing is always right.
And with that being said, no further introduction, we got the amazing, beautiful, intelligent, inspirational Savitra.
Woo, woo. Try not to bust y'all your drums out.
First of all, I would like to just say thank you, Q and John, for having me. I always tell people that I get to work with and may have a relationship with you guys, that if they connect with you, you guys are dynamic, very genuine, spirited, love-hearted people, and that anytime people have a chance to meet or connect with you guys, that they need to, because in this industry, sometimes it's very hard to make genuine connections, but you guys for sure have definitely been like the real deal. So appreciate all that you do. Thank you for helping the creatives out there as well.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you make a red man blush.
Oh, it's too early, John.
Right. Now, you know, he's going to be landing on thick.
Okay.
But Savitra, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. So that you know, the audience has heard from John and I talking about you. So we're going to step aside and open up the floor for you to kind of give the audience a little background, more in depth, I guess, basically about how you kind of got your start on your creative journey. So wherever you want to start on that journey, what kind of brought you to where you are today?
Well, I can honestly say I think I know that just creativity, it just comes very natural to me. I remember sitting in church when I was in elementary school drawing a shirt. Now I cannot draw at all, but I remember specifically saying, you know what, I want a shirt that's going to be a one shoulder that has a puff sleeve. I was supposed to be listening to like a sermon, but I was like, let me jot this down. And that just is kind of literally how my life has really been when it came to creativity and things of that sort. I always felt as though I was different. I remember when I was younger, I heard this voice say, you're going to do big things. I don't know where it came from. And I just continued to just, go with that throughout the day. I haven't seen it yet, but, I'm slowly trying to make my way there. I think also another big supporter was just like my family. Um, I'm a little bit different from them. Like, I like music and art and stuff like that. They're not so much into that. But, I've seen pictures of my mother when she was younger. She could dress. A lot of the people in my family, they can sew, they dress well, they can sing. So I really also attribute a lot of the talents that I have, not just from like my parents, but also from family members. And going to college just kind of helped me explore more. Changed my majors 3 times. Started off as a computer science major, then I did computer informational sciences. And even though I kind of enjoyed it, I was like, not for me. So then I ended up in graphic communications, and everything from photography to um, just kind of printing and design. That was me. And from there, I just kind of took off with that.
Let me interject real quick. I just want to ask a quick question. Um, I know me and Q ourselves, we're from the South, come from different parts of Georgia. Um, I'm actually just hearing Pinewood, South Carolina. So when you were speaking to family and being different from your family, how was it growing up in Pinewood, South Carolina before your journey into college? Because I was going to say, was your journey into college to kind of like expand on your thoughts and your passion, or how was it growing in Pinewood, South Carolina? Was it like a more of a rural, and I hate to say country town because we're from the South as well, but is it like more of a real, down south, like more of a rural town? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. So first of all, shout out to Pinewood. I know a lot of people don't know where that's at. Most times when people ask me where I'm from, I'll say Sumter, South Carolina, just about 45 minutes from Columbia, South Carolina, the capital. But Pinewood is definitely a very rural town. I don't want to lie because I forgot what the population is, but it's small. It's
Okay.
a town where if you go into the city of Pinewood, you have a Young's Market. We have a Dollar General. So we
That's
Oh,
come
it.
right. Yeah, you got a Chinese spot. You can get you some Chinese food, but it's a very rural town,
oh,
predominantly African American. Um, it's filled with family. Most of my family is there. Anytime you go back home, you'll always see someone you know. If someone moves in that we don't know, it's like, hey, did y'all see that new person? You never seen them before.
wow.
So it's just it's that small. But no, I would just say I just wanted to try something different. My parents have always pushed us to, just do the things that we wanted to do. So I opted to go to Clemson. My mom actually pushed me to go. I got accepted into North Carolina. I was going to be a dancer for the band, and
Say
she
that
was
school
just
Oh
one more
no.
time. One more time.
North Carolina A&T.
Because, I'm an Aggie. So,
Yes,
Come on now.
but my mom was just like she wanted me to try to get into Clemson, and I was just like, Mom, I don't want to, but I got in, yay! And yeah, like I don't know, just being there was different. Of course, it was a predominantly white school.
Mhm.
There were times when I was the only Black person in my class, but it allowed me to engage with people that didn't look like me. And I felt as though that really helped me when I continued to
Diversify.
yeah. It really allowed me to diversify and work with people of various backgrounds, various cultures, and I enjoyed it. So I think it really helped me professionally and personally to develop.
That I think that's amazing because I know normally we hear our journeys like from the start to the finish. Even when going back to like Q early beginnings. If y'all want to catch those episodes, being from that small town and having these dreams and these visions and thoughts, but expand yourself. Most time people listen to Q nowadays, they think she's from Alpharetta or something
Oh,
like that.
not
Buckhead, Sandy
Alpharetta.
Springs. I'm like, no, baby.
Come on now.
Riverdale,
But yeah,
Georgia.
most definitely.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
she went to the same high school 2 Chainz went to. Shout out to 2 Chainz. But yeah, most
2
definitely.
Chainz,
But just
Monica.
mm-hmm.
Who else? Yeah, girl, a couple of them. Jermaine
College
Dupri.
Park.
Mhm.
Yep. So
So that
just
means she was born to be a star because she was at the school where all the stars were made.
Come
I
on
like
there
now.
you
that.
go. Look at you. Look at you. Come on now. Big game.
Hey.
So when you went to Clemson and actually graduated and got your bachelor's, what made you return to actually get your your master's in graphic communication and everything?
All right, so funny story. Undergraduate, whew, your girl
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what she was doing. Okay, Clemson was a struggle, but I felt like after about 9 years, like there was a point I graduated from college. I could not find a job. So I remember I kind of hit like a low. And as I got older, I realized that I think I went through a state of depression. Like it just nothing. I just didn't understand what was going on. Like every day from 3 a.m. in the morning until, sorry, from 8 a.m. in the morning until 3 a.m., I was up trying to find a job. I went to the unemployment office to try to find work. Like my parents were trying to help me. I could not find a job. And you just kind of get to a point like, Lord, like, what is this? Like, no one
And
ever
you,
imagined.
and
Oh,
sorry to
sorry.
cut you off, and you weren't even exclusively looking for a job in your field, right? You were applying for just jobs in general, like you said, like in
Yeah.
the Atlanta area, just to work, right?
Right. Just wanted to work, but not realizing, of course, the recession happened. So that really hit people that were graduating during that time. So many of the jobs that were open were now unavailable because we were going through this whole recession thing. So I finally ended up getting a job at the IRS office in Columbia. It was like a contract job. My sister helped me get that. Shout out to my sister. Thank you. And I worked that for about 6, 7 months. And I remembered I applied for a job here in Atlanta and I forgot about that job. So it wasn't until the project was almost over that they called me back to interview. So I came to Atlanta twice. I interviewed there and I got the job. So it was like God was right on time. So I came to Atlanta and that job actually allowed me to work in my field for 2 years. I was a pre-media specialist. So basically, I helped create like different types of ads and stuff for businesses in Atlanta. I worked there for 2 years. They actually sent me out to California to do a training for something called printables. And basically, like when you log online and you can kind of fill something out, manually, like the little blocks kind of pop up. That's what I went out there to be trained on. So that was exciting. But then my time ended from there and I ended up going into the higher ed system. And, I was just still doing this time. I didn't really understand how, like, okay, how's my life going to end up? But I was like, but look where you are. You are right where you want it to be. And that was Atlanta. So it wasn't until I would say 2015 when I ran into, well, my friend Jennifer, which she knows you guys because she's worked with you. She told me that Q was looking for a stylist. And I was like, oh goodness, like I've done fashion, here and there. Because in between, oh yeah, of course, when I was waiting for a job, of course, I made this website. I created this website because I really wanted to be a stylist. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have a job, so I'm going to have this website. So basically, throughout all of this time, I've changed the name of this business that I started back when I had no job like 3 or 4 times. I did some
Wow.
work. with several people here in Atlanta doing some styling stuff, and then it just kind of stopped. And I was like, oh, well, there goes that. But then she was like, hey, here's the information. Q, of course, had a very detailed process. You know, you had to have a resume, all that stuff. And I was just like, I was so nervous because I was like, well, I don't really like have any skill sets. And something was like, girl, you did style. And I was like, I forgot about that. So I put that down there, and lo and behold, Q gave me a chance. I was supposed to work with another wardrobe stylist, but they didn't show up. So I just became the main person on the set of the production that Q and John were
Mhm.
on, and that actually started my career into what I'm doing now. It was interesting because I did that one project, and then it just kind of halted for like, I think 3-4 years, because I really didn't start doing onset styling again until last year when Jaron did his production. And
Well,
then
when we say last year, just say a couple months ago, man, you just worked together.
that is true. Sorry,
Well,
a couple
last
of
year was a
months
couple of months ago, John.
Yeah, yeah, but she said,
ago.
It's only January 2021.
hey,
It still
when she
feel like
said,
last year.
so when she said until last year, people like last year. Oh yeah, we still January,
Yeah, oh, my
couple
bad. Well,
months,
I think it was last September, right?
most definitely around
Yeah,
around that time.
right. And then I was on another project for Jade, and man, was that October?
Oh yeah, we was on
Yeah,
we
my mind.
two projects.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was able to kind of start back up with that. But in between that time, I did go back to school. I went back to school in 2017. Let me tell you guys about that. That was a 9-year process. I was so scared of going back to school after I graduated the first time. I don't know. I was so nervous. And it's like I wanted to go back for my MBA. I told myself if I went back to school, it was only going to be for my MBA. I filled out several applications for grad school for different things that was not for an MBA. They did not happen. But my sister, once again, the plug, she told me, hey, did you know that your undergrad has this program for innovation and entrepreneurship? That is exactly what I wanted. I was like, no, I
Mhm.
didn't. So I finally hopped online. I went to like the information session. The lady helped me out. It's so interesting. The
Now, was
work
this
that
also at Clemson?
Yes, this is
Okay.
back at my undergrad of Clemson. And what was interesting is I had to write a paper on why I wanted to come back to do my MBA and what my business idea was. And it was
Mm.
what was helpful was working on the set with Q and John. Like I was able to use that along with
Wow.
being an undergraduate at Clemson and the styling that I had already done. Things just started coming together. So I got
Wow.
into this program, and for the first year, it was just a struggle trying to figure out like what am I going to do as a project, because in the entrepreneurship and innovation major, you had to have an actual project to work on. And I was like, girl, like you already have this business that you want, like always wanted to
Mhm.
have a boutique. So I was like, well, let's take what you've been trying to do and make it happen. So basically, throughout the next 2 years, I had to literally design a business. I had to pitch the business. And what is very unique about my business is I actually did research on the industry before deciding to make it a online business and make it a career business. I looked at the statistics over the next 10 years of where the market is going, how
Mhm.
millennials are about to transition into a lot of the jobs because our parents who are probably baby boomers, they are about to retire. So a lot of us are about to take over with their jobs. I did a lot of research on why I wanted it to be online. A lot of brick and mortar stores are closing. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but JC Penney's, they just closed. Like JC Penney's
Wow.
and all
Mhm.
stores, they're
And
closing.
Macy's is
And
closing a
Macy's,
lot of stores too.
right.
And yeah, because you went from a Rich's card to a Macy's card, and now that was
Rich.
your
I
first
remember
credit
that
card.
card.
Oh, he
Yeah,
took
Come
it
on now,
back.
all
that
the
was your
way back.
first line of credit. First line of credit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I wanted
Mhm.
something that was going to be lucrative. And when you think of passive income, I always wanted to have a business where I'm making money while I sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But within this business, there's something that millennials are doing more of, and just people in general. They want to buy from people who are socially aware. And one of the things that I'm really, really big on is education and philanthropy. So when I talk about education, student loans, like people struggle to try to get an education and they end up in so much debt. And sometimes the amount of money that they spent for the degree doesn't amount to the amount of money that they're getting paid for the actual job. For those people that are able to make that money, that is great. But that is not the case for the people who all of our loans are adding up to $1.5 trillion. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like the most debt after, I think it's like a mortgage and more
Mm-hmm.
than credit card debt. So, you know, so
Mhm.
people need help. So I really wanted to have a business to where eventually I can start giving out scholarships and helping students that want to go to school and fulfill their dream, or, you know, get a business. And the philanthropy part is just more so of, I enjoy helping people out. Like I just really think that I've been blessed to have the things that I need. You know, I could always have more, but you know, I'm very blessed to have the things that I have right now and just wanting to give back. Like I worked with a nonprofit last year, my business to do 2019. Last year just seemed like, I don't know, well, a blur.
I
But
know.
but in 2019, we worked with a nonprofit to sponsor a prom dress drive. Last year, we worked with a nonprofit in a homeless shelter in Atlanta called Our House, that houses families for like a short period of time. And we did a book bag drive because we knew that COVID meant a lot of parents lost their jobs. That meant some students needed supplies. And even though everyone was doing like a book bag drive, there's always areas in which we can help. And we wanted to be a blessing to maybe those areas that aren't being reached to as much. So I'm just really big on helping people out. So I want folks to know that when they're shopping with New Era of Style, it's not just about that fashion part when you are looking good in your career and your lifestyle, but it's also about that part of giving back, to know that you are shopping fashion on purpose. So that's the new slogan that we're going to have for this year. When you're shopping with us, is not just about you, but it's also about the things that you can do with our brand. So that's something that we really wanted to
Mhm.
drive home about what we do.
Wow, that's so amazing. That's so amazing. Mm. I like how you showcase also, you know, career lifestyle boutique. What made that your avenue that you wanted to go down as far as dealing with the career individuals and people who, you know, more of that lifestyle?
Well, I also with the research and just in general, people love to travel. Like that is one of the things I think at the girls trip inspired a lot of people to want to go to New Orleans and, you know, just
Mhm.
travel, just have a great time. But I think a lot of people now, young, oh, it doesn't matter. They are really trying to live their best lives, and that is navigating. You are navigating now, working. You're navigating having your own business, and you're navigating having to live your life, whether you're a parent, you know, whether you're a caretaker, however that may look. But those are the two biggest things that we have. Like we have to hold down a job steady to either fund the development of something that we're trying to do or to live the life that we want. So we try to incorporate pieces that transition. Like if you're a mom and you have to go someplace right after work, you don't have time to go home and change. But if you're buying something that is a transitional piece that's versatile, then you can go from the
Mhm.
office to the kid lane and pick up your child, drop them off,
Mhm.
and go to happy hour, you know? So you have
Mhm.
Come
on
on now.
that same look. And same thing for the dads, like, you know, they're busy too, or just guys, like, you don't have time to go home and change, but you can take that business shirt, roll it up, take the tie off, and bam, you're still looking good. So we just wanted to
Mhm.
make things easier for people to navigate through life. And that's what most of our pieces do.
Savitra, I have a question for you. Can you
Mhm.
elaborate a little bit about the technical side and the practical side of actually starting an online boutique? Because that seems to be something that's very popular right now.
Okay.
So can you talk a little bit about the ways to launch your online boutique successfully, but also the things that people may not think about, because some people, you have a lot of people that say, oh, I want to sell lashes online, or I want to sell coffee mugs online. And, but there's a process to it. So can you talk a little bit about the practical steps to launching an online boutique and some things that you have to look out for that people may not think about?
Yeah, sure. I think the biggest thing is being self-aware and faith in yourself, because I think a lot of things that hold us back when we're thinking about starting a boutique, whether it's brick and mortar or online, is faith and just worrying about what if I don't succeed. But you won't know if you are successful if you don't start. So I think that was one of the biggest things that stopped me, and something that
And
I
that's
always
any
hear.
industry, not just
Yeah,
online boutiques. That's any
yeah,
any
yeah,
profession.
like
Mhm.
right. That's just right. And that's really literally anything. Like you hear someone saying, I always wanted to start this, but it's like that fear factor. So once you get over that, you'll be fine. But technical aspects, one of the things I would say is figure out how you're going to start. Some people will say you can use credit cards. Some people will do crowdfunding. I wouldn't suggest a credit card, because if you don't have the money to pay it off, you probably don't want to get yourself into debt, but you have to figure out what best works for you. But there are options. There's crowdsourcing, there's investment, and depending on what type of business you're trying to start. But for something like an online boutique, I went the bootstrapping route. And bootstrapping is basically I paid for everything myself with my own money. So 2019, if you had to ask me for money, I was broke. I didn't have anything. Like, like I had enough to get my business license, which was the most expensive thing. I did not have to pay for my LLC. Like I signed up. Yeah, I just registered for my name. I don't remember paying for it.
I know in Georgia it's $100 filing fee just to
Okay,
file the
that is,
company formation.
you're right. Yeah. So I did pay that, and I did not have to pay for my tax ID. Like that comes free. As long as you have that EIN number, you're good. And I didn't have to pay for my business license. And with your business license, you do have to renew that every single year. It expires December the 31st of every single year. So in order for you to sell anything in the state of Georgia, online, wherever, you have to have that. So I paid for that. I think
And
the
what's that license called again?
Oh, it's called a business license.
Okay. So I mean,
Mhm.
so a regular business license. So you don't have to have a specific one just for sale and retail.
For retail, yeah. So whenever you get a business license and everything, you have to have I don't know the pronunciation, but they're going to register your business. So my business is registered as a clothing retail. So it's going to depend on what section your business is registered as. And whatever that is, there may be a different process. Like if you want to sell alcohol, you're not going to have the same process as someone that's trying to sell clothes, because you have to be cleared on so many levels to actually get a permit to sell that. So depending on what category your business falls into, there's going to be a different process. But if you're collecting money of any kind, you have to have a business license, because if Uncle Sam finds out you get money, he wants some too. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to make sure that whatever industry you're trying to get into, you actually followed that protocol. But when it came to the online boutique, I think the biggest thing for me was just the merchandise. It's like, yes, I have this business, but you got to find something to sell. And for me, the biggest thing was locating wholesalers. And once you find wholesalers, sometimes it's a hit or miss with the clothing. So one of the
So
things, sorry, go ahead.
so I was going to ask you a question, because I know I understand about the business license, but I was asking about. I know back in the day I used to have a t-shirt company myself, like a t-shirt printing company. But did you have to have a business license and also a wholesale license as well? Was it two separate licenses? So how did that work?
No, your
Comes with your
wholesale.
tax ID number.
Yeah, so you can
Mm-hmm.
buy wholesale whenever you have a seller's permit. So your seller's
Mm-hmm.
permit is like that's your license to buy clothing. Sometimes you can get on sites and you can just register with your email, but if you are looking to actually have wholesale clothes, for the wholesalers that I've used, you must have that seller's permit, because that's like your, hey, you're legit. Welcome to our store. Shop around.
It's kind of like having a liquor license if
Right.
you're,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a club or a bar or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the details of it, Savitra. But we want to also, what made you um, go into a certain genre or a style of clothing. I understand it's career fashion, but I see you online. I mean, you have a array of different styles. You know what I'm saying? From like the vintage clothing to the kind of like, because like when you say new era of style, it kind of like is your own niche of style. Like it's very unique. I love it. But if you want to elaborate on that, like what was your um, where did your thoughts go to create this certain style of your fashion?
Like her inspiration.
Mhm.
My
Mhm.
inspiration, man, that's a really good question. One of the things that I will say is I've always been like a huge fan of Claire Huxtable. Like
Okay.
I've always liked the way that she carried herself. And even if
Mhm.
you look at modern day, you look at Michelle Obama, like yesterday, the way she came
Oh,
through with that plum,
and
that
yesterday, just to put it in perspective for the audience, because by the time this airs, we're referring to the inauguration of
yeah,
President Joe Biden.
yes.
Yes.
And she
Mhm.
just came through in like her plum jacket and pants. But I've always like admired that type of style where you can, just I guess show who you are covered, but
Come
we
Mhm.
on now.
pieces where you can be sexy but sophisticated. So I've always liked
Mhm.
that type of fashion. And I am a mid-price boutique, so we're not cheap, but we're not
Mhm.
expensive. So if you're okay for paying for quality and something that's going to last long and look nice, then definitely you would shop with us. But we try to have like unique pieces that just kind of bring out a new era of style. And it's funny, John, that you asked that question, because when I came up with that name, New Era of Style, it was a new era not only for just clothing, but also for what clothing meant.
Mhm.
And that goes back to the mantra of the business, and that's fashion on purpose. And I think that's
Come
what
on now.
fashion to try to represent more of. Like if you look on any of my sites, I will never or rarely have celebrity fashions. I don't follow trends. I mean, people will
Mhm.
probably hate me for saying that, but like I keep up with the trends to see what's going on, but I don't follow them. I'm a
Hmm.
firm believer of wear what fits you, not just wear what you want to. You can do that too, but also just keep in mind, like body type, and just wear what makes you feel great. And I think one of the biggest things too is just when people put on clothes, and it's just a different feeling when you put on something that you feel good in. Like, have you ever
Mhm.
seen someone or been that person? I've had on clothes where I knew I wasn't comfortable in, and it showed because the whole
Mhm.
night I'm pulling on it, I'm
Tugging,
doing
pulling. Mhm.
right. But like tonight, I got my fedora on, I got my little big sleeve shirt on, I'm feeling good, and it
And
just
you
kind of
looking good.
All the time.
yeah, but it just what you
Mhm.
wear makes you feel good when you're wearing something that makes you feel good, So
And
I
it's just
just
like women with our hair. When our hair is done, when it's laid, when it's right, you have that confidence versus, when you got the bonnet on or you just
yeah.
took the braids out, you got the cornrows under the wig, you took the wig off. It's like, okay.
And just to add on a little something. One thing that I know that we spoke on is that you're a certified strength coach.
Mhm.
So I think that kind of like coexists in your world of fashion, because one thing about it, like being not only a stylist, also having an online boutique, and also being a strength coach, you know how to build a person confidence. And it's not only just
Mhm.
women, it's men as well too. A lot of people feel like, you have to be a one way type person. You feel like you have to be what's the word, like assembly made. If this person wearing this, I got to wear this. Or this person,
Mhm.
like they're kind of scared to be themselves because they don't really have a sense of direction. And working with you personally, being on set, and seeing how you embody characters as being a stylist, and how you style people, even myself, give me plenty of tips. And I know we got to get together and do our thing, but you really like build people confidence. um what makes you how does that coexist, being a strength coach and a stylist, and just fashion all together? How does that work with you?
Well, one of the things that I will say is that I've never fit in anywhere. Like I struggle with that. You laugh, but I've never fit in any particular group, and I always thought I was weird. You know, like
We had this conversation. That's why I'm laughing because
right,
we had a lengthy conversation about this.
yeah, it's like, and I don't think a lot of people. I just never fit in with like the popular group, or
Mm.
I just always felt like I was forcing it. So what I decided to do is just create a space for myself. And
Come on
everyone
now.
says they're different, but we're supposed to be different. But I'm gonna say I was unique. You know, the way that I process things, I really care about people. Like I really do care about people. I think in my past life, I was like a psychologist or something, like something. But it's like I really like to get to know a person for who they are. So when it comes to like strengths and things like that, like I like to understand where are people trying to go? Like, what do you want to do? Like, how do we create that for you? And one of the things for me is with strengths, it allowed me to better understand who I was as a person. So, like my top five, I'm gonna try to remember them: futuristic, relator, restorative, developer, responsibility. Oh, I got it. Okay, cool. So with
Okay.
with the developer part, I love to see people's potential and I like to develop. So when it comes to fashion, you know, I just really feel like sometimes people are just looking for a new look. And whether they're male or female, I like to work with them to figure out, well, how do you see yourself? Like people always tell you, dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. And I try to just work with people to figure out, what do you see? Like what what are you trying to get to when it comes to like your clothing? Futuristic, that I'm very creative. Like I have to stop myself because with futuristic, I'm a very visual person. Like I'm a very visual person. So I have very vivid visions. Like literally all day, my mind is just going. And I'm just envisioning things 10 years from now. Like, oh my gosh, I'm always creating. My mind is always creating something. So literally, I could be out. I don't judge people, but I'm watching somebody and I was like, I know what I'll put him in or her in. Like, I can just look at you and just say what I'll put you in. It just comes natural to me. Or like, ooh, let me try this. Let me try this. John's laughing because
I'm
I always
laughing
tell John,
because we done had hour-long conversation. I'm talking about sitting in the parking lot. It's freezing cold. We just got off a set, and you do this. And I know you're kind of humble, you know. I mean, you know, it's room for the meek and the mild, but come on, baby, you got to shine because you do this. And the way you do it is you build a confidence. A lot of people are comfortable being in a certain pocket, and it's not the fact because they don't see themselves as anything else. So as being the strength coach, you know, sometimes like, well, nah, I know I'm just play it safe because I know I can just do this. But it's like they kind of scared to go. They don't want to be like the young people. So if you kind of like, you know, certain people at my age and up, you like, I want to just go straight to skinny jeans. But then, okay, can I go like relaxed fit where I still feel comfortable? Am I trying to be cool? I mean, I got an uncle, I got kids, or the little grandbaby. I'm trying to get out here. Like, come on now, you gotta be able to be you, but feel comfortable being you, and you give them a sense of direction. You get them a sense of direction, and you get them a sense of confidence because you're like, it's okay. This is what, and you get them a new era of style. They say, come on, let's try
Come
this
on,
new era.
plug,
You know
bring
what I
it
mean?
back.
Come on now.
yeah, and especially with guys too. Like, I love what I do, but I think one of my favorite like clients are guys because men, they think they don't have anything, but they have so much. You'll normally see a man won't automatically go out and buy like a whole outfit, but men can just use accessories and they're good. Like a top, the same pair of pants, you throw on a tie, a watch, a belt, a bag, they are good. And that's what we're trying to incorporate more of. And just, I don't know, like I just like, it's nothing like a well-dressed man. I'm telling you.
And girl,
Girl,
as you said that, I just visualized one of my favorite looks of a guy is when they have like a crisp white dress shirt with like the suit vest and a
yes.
tie, and it's maybe a little loose. I'm sorry, John. We just have a moment here.
This is funny. I mean, but hold on. But it's informative because I
Yeah.
had this conversation with some guys earlier.
Mhm.
Guys, number one, don't know how to communicate with women. Everything is so primitive. Everything is just one track. Man, sometimes just relax. Come on now, just relax. Have a great conversation. Be comfortable in your clothes.
Right.
Be comfortable in your style. Like it don't take a lot.
Mhm.
You clean go a long way. Clean, go iron, just iron and just come on, like
Yeah.
it builds your confidence. A lot of guys, I'm gonna just do a design. You look like a pile of dirty clothes just because you got a designer belt on. Come on now, and you
Right.
smell. Hey, come on now, you smell worse than that.
Oh my goodness. Right,
I mean, you
right,
know what I'm saying? I mean, we're gonna keep this show whatever, but come on now, you standing out looking crazy, pants sagging. Like, it's okay
Ugh.
to be different. Be
Mm-hmm.
right.
different. And when you hear it from women, two beautiful women, that's career based and everything, you feel like you can't compete because you're like, I will holler at her, but it don't take all that. You could be confident in who you are, be confident as a man, and just, as long as you do the right thing once you you know.
There you go. There you go. Well said. And like I really agree. Like I'm not okay, like I could have gone in any direction with
Uh,
clothes. I think there's a lot of markets out there already for street clothes, urban wear. That's fine.
mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of people they were stepping away from more of the business casual. But man, I'm telling you, that business casual look,
Mm-hmm. And
it
one
was
of the things, Savitra, I love, because I follow you on Instagram, of course, and I love that you really promote pieces, like you said. Like you don't always like, of course, you'll have dresses sometimes, like a full, dress, but you show the importance of having like a blouse, and you can do so many different things with that blouse. You can pair it with a pencil skirt, you can pair it with some jeans, or a belt or a bag, or even like you were saying with the guys, like a guy can have on a white t-shirt, some crisp, like John said, iron crisp jeans and a nice
Come on now.
fedora, and boom, you gotta look, the fedora or whatever will set it off.
Man, a dude throwing a nice little sports blazer. You can have a Egyptian cotton t-shirt on, something to lay on that lays and kind of like help what I'm saying, complement your body type. And you can have
Yeah.
a nice little sports blazer with some little, some nice little jeans and some casual shoes. And you just clean, but you gotta know how to rock it. And you give it to them because I see what you do. Cause we're gonna talk about this on set thing too. Cause you talking about
We
on set
are.
wardrobe stylists on occasion. But I don't work
Right.
with you plenty of times. I know you said last year, that was just a couple months ago, but we done worked on multiple projects. And
Mhm.
I worked on both of the projects that recently that you was just on, and also too, you done did a lot of things with me and Q as well too. So
Mhm.
explain some of your experiences with that, as far as like not only just having an online boutique, but also transitioning into the film world.
well, I would say, going back to that first experience that I had working with you all, it really gave me the opportunity to understand how a character comes to life. And one of the biggest things with being a wardrobe stylist is knowing the script. Sometimes you have to
Mhm.
know the script just as well as the actors because you have to figure out continuity. So if there was a shirt that was worn in scene one and scene one continues when you film the third day, now that's one thing I never knew. I thought everything
Yeah.
filmed in the same
Mhm.
order, but no,
Nope.
like scene one can film on day 5 and then day 25. But okay, between that time, if no one was there to write down or to capture what that person had on, it's not going to look right. It's like, wait a minute, didn't they? And I'm one of those people with anything I
That will
watch,
point it out.
I'm looking
Mhm.
at what someone has on. So that really taught me the importance of reading the script and then talking to production to figure out, okay, who is this character? What is the
Come on now.
because
Yeah.
then that allows for you to determine what type of attire will bring this character to life. And I think that's what I really enjoy the most is bringing this character on paper, what someone has written, to life. Clothes like craft to me, they aren't really shouted out as much, but makeup and clothes, those people are important because if they're not there, all you have are just people. But I think everyone brings something to set, but that craft staff, especially when it comes to creating the look for that character, they're very important. And something as well, on one of the films that I worked on not too long ago, there was a piece in there about a like a vintage watch. And of course, I had to do research. So being a stylist or like a wardrobe stylist,
I remember this.
Yeah, to look that up. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, in here, they're mentioning. So it has to come out of this person's mouth about whatever watch. So if you
I
like,
remember that scene.
right, I'm gonna go search like what type of watch is it? And if I see that the
Mhm.
watch is like, what is that? So because I didn't want that to happen, I researched what type of watch that was. And lo and
Mhm.
behold, the actor actually had this particular watch already, like something similar to it. It's little things like that that you have to kind of keep in the back of your mind when you're on set and you're doing styling. Another thing is tricks and tips of how to fix something if something happens. I know
Mhm.
starting out with you all, I didn't have like my little what I call now my safety kit with safety pins with a lint roller. I have Alka-Seltzer Plus. People laugh at me, but hey, somebody's stomach may be hurting. So, like it's like the little kit that you keep with you just in case something happens, and just knowing tips and tricks on
A
how to.
rack. I'm sorry, I
Oh,
just have to put that out there because I've recently worked with someone and she was new to film. Like she
yeah.
had done photo shoots and stuff, and she didn't know, it was because she didn't have a rack or a steamer. Those were the two things.
First of all, that's what I was gonna say, because she had the steamer. She
Yeah, and
came
I
with the
told her, I said,
steamer.
those are the two most important things that from a producer standpoint, if you hire a stylist, you expect them to come with their own steamer and their own clothing rack.
Yes.
And we're
And
gonna stop right here because we're at our time mark, and then we're gonna come back to finish this conversation. Sorry. I don't all right, we are recording. Go ahead.
And Q, yeah, to follow up on what you were saying, a rack and a steamer are definitely one of the two most important things to have. And I remember when I started off working with you all, I bought this like little cheap 3-prong rack, and that was not helpful. But then I upgraded to actually the stainless steel with collapsible wheels and everything, and that has
Mm-hmm.
really helped. Like the racks right behind me, it can hold a number of clothes, and you're able to steam while the clothes are hanging up on, like on something, because you never know how many
Mm-hmm.
pieces that you're going to have on a given set. So it's always good to have a rack and it extends, so that's good. One of the things that I am working on is getting a larger steamer, like more so of a commercial steamer, but those are a little difficult because the ones that they show you, the ratings on them, they don't really last a long time. So investing in a good steamer is always really important. But I also wanted to show you guys like just a sample bag that I take with me on set that has needles and thread in it, because you never know when something's going to rip, pop. So knowing how to
Mm-hmm.
sew, like just thread up something is
And
really
that could be
important.
cast or crew, okay?
Cast
Because
or
crew may have a wardrobe malfunction. John's top button
mm,
on his jeans, he might have too much French fries that day.
boom, just pop open. I got some pins for that. Got some pins for that. But yeah, you just don't know what's going to happen on
Mhm.
set. So just staying prepared. But even so, I'm real old school. I even bring an ironing board and an iron on set, because sometimes steamers just can't do what an iron can. But it's understanding the fabrics and what levels to actually iron on. Like that's really important. But definitely, I wanted to highlight a rack and steamer are definitely really important to have on set.
And if you can't, like, say you're a stylist who's just starting out, and you're
Mhm.
kind of getting your foot through the door and you get asked to work on like a photo shoot or a film set and you maybe can't afford it, do you think that's something that people can rent, or what would you suggest to people who maybe can't afford to go buy a rack or a steamer?
I would say check to see if there's one that will be available on set. I know sometimes, depending on where someone is filming at, they may have like a smaller rack or something that they can bring. But Amazon is really a trendsetter for things. Like you can buy things similar to this for about $10, $19. So if you can afford maybe something that's a little bit cheaper, I would say Amazon, but ask around. Like if it's something that you want to do, check within your circle. But if you really don't have it, just let them know. You never know what people who are working on set can do for you, but just kind of be transparent and just save your money, and things will grow in time, because I didn't start off this way. This was months and months of saving. And once you're able to afford something, then you can invest and make an investment. These racks are investments. I bought one. And then I was able to make money to buy another one. These racks are like $49.99, but they're worth every penny. Like I love these racks. So if you're just starting off, give yourself grace. I think that's the biggest thing you have to do. You don't have to buy everything at once. Start
Yeah.
off small. Ask around. Rent if you can. If not, go on Amazon, find something cheap, and then grow from there. But just allow
Mhm.
yourself grace to not worry about having it all when you first start.
At once.
Mhm.
Well, Savitra, I want to ask you another question real quick. Being a certified fashion and lifestyle blogger, what platform do you use as far as your blogging for fashion and lifestyle?
You know, I had a blog, but I let that go a long time ago. Like I got that
Okay.
certification, I want to say back in 2015. And I
Okay.
started blogging, but I couldn't keep up with it consistently
Mm-hmm.
because what I really wanted to work on was the fashion. And I
Okay.
think I started doing that. But it's interesting because if you read my captions, they're kind of like blogs. Like one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that I wanted to mention earlier is within my life, what I realized is that the skills that I acquired earlier in life have showed up later in life to help me. So most times I think in life, what people don't realize is even though you're not using what you have gained in the beginning, just wait a while because you're going to later find out why you did or went through what you went through because you're going to end up needing that. So even
Mm-hmm.
though I haven't really been a blogger per se, what I've learned and went through for that certification has helped me when it comes to creating content and when it comes to actually creating captions for my IG post or for
Post.
Facebook. So those skill sets have helped me in a different way. Maybe not to be a blogger per se, but to have the
Mhm.
words needed to come up with content for my business.
And John, you know, that's something that literally, and Savitra, literally every single guest that we've had on the show, including John and I's own stories, have said that same statement, that there was something that some skill they acquired, some job they had, something that at the moment they may not necessarily have known why they were doing it or how it would work, but everything kind of weaves itself in together.
Right.
You know, for us as creators, like that's what makes us creatives because we're like
Right.
a big pot of vegetable stew. We're made up of so many talents and, you know,
Mhm.
all of the things. John, why are you smiling like
I
that?
draw down the like
You know,
I
John
mean,
usually come with the
yeah,
analogies.
come on now,
all
that's
the
what I'm
time
saying.
Yeah,
The analogy metaphor guru, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Q here, she said big
for
pot of
sure.
vegetable stew.
A big
Come
pot.
on now. We need some
Sure.
cornbread, get it on down now. But that's what's up though. That's what's up.
Hmm.
Well, Savitra, I mean, you know, you do a array of amazing things, and it has been a pleasure showcasing, you know, not only your journey and your path, and also, you know, inspiring people just through just your own creativity. I really think you're an amazing person, and I definitely want our guests to follow you. I mean, of course, not just on your social media handle, just with everything, you know, because you do so many beautiful things. As far as your as far as being like a life coach, what's the best way guests and people can be in contact with that? Just say if they need some, you know, whether it's a young girl or somebody trying to get into like a career, you know, just kind of guidance. How would they be able to reach you on that level?
Well, if you're interested, men or women, male or female, if you are
Okay.
interested in any type of strengths coaching, and Q knows about this because she said that she's already taken that test, so she's very familiar
Hmm.
with strengths. But strengths just allows you to just kind of figure out what your talents are. Talents are things that you naturally have. So, like one of the things that I always use this all the time. I'm not the best in math. Like I can do business math, then you throw in some letters and some more stuff, and it's just like, what's going on? But you can manage your weaknesses through things like for me, I can't do math, so I use a calculator. That's how I manage that. Or if I'm working on a project, I work with someone that is good in math. So with strength, it just kind of teaches you to focus on those talents because sometimes we work ourselves trying to master something that we are naturally not good at. And that's not a bad thing. Like there's a taboo on the word weakness, but the thing is you can always manage a weakness. So basically with the strengths, it just kind of helps people figure out what their talents are. And for me, that has been beneficial because it's led me to this point to where I am. Like I had a struggle. Like my life has literally been a journey, just trying to figure out what I was good at. How do I take all of this creativity? Where do I put it? But I realized that the two biggest things in my life that I enjoy more than anything is business, helping people, and fashion. Like and just being creative. So those outlets and me using those strengths of being futuristic, which is a part of being creative, developer, and relator, and just all of those things just allowed me to really kind of hone into what I would like to do. So if that's something that you're interested in, I do have a new era of a IG page called S. The Strengths Coach, and that's how you can get in touch with me, or you can just shoot me an email that I can provide you guys with, and they can just reach out to me and figure out what they would like to schedule. But I do think once you understand where your natural talents lie, it kind of gives you an idea of how you can best use them. And you'll kind of see some areas within your life that are making sense to you. Like, well, I noticed this is easy for me and I enjoy that. And we can kind of connect those two things to figure out what is best for you or how you can continue to grow and develop in that area professionally and personally.
I think that's amazing speech. I really appreciate that. Um, wow, this has been a lot, and I think this is a lot of information that people can actually use. And just being creative, man. I mean, you're amazing because it all goes together as far as the way you look. Have you ever seen somebody? And I know that I'm gonna take it to some just a basic question. Have you ever seen somebody want to fight in like church clothes or dress clothes? So it's like when you go somewhere and you already dressed a certain way, your attitude and the way you think is a certain way. So if you got some hard bottoms on, some pleated pants, or some slacks, or you got a nice dress shirt, some cufflinks, whatever, smelling good, some nice exotic cologne on. Hey, I'm not in here to get dirty. I'm gonna act and think a certain way. You know what I'm saying? The way I look represents how I want to feel and how I want to present myself, not only for myself but also to the world. So I think that they all this go and plays a part. And I just wanted to break that down for my urban listeners, so we kind of, say that into my little layman's term. But Savitra, is anything else that you want to share with us, that you want to talk about? What about I know you do a lot of things on set, but do you style and do photo shoots and stuff, or for people that want to do like a certain look as far as for their professional page and business pages? Do you style that?
Or like branding photo shoots?
Yeah.
I haven't done that in a while, but there is something that I have gotten into basically just for myself, but I do era styling, ERA. Page, but it's like the stuff I do for like styling purposes. So
hold on, Savitra. Sorry, you might have to say that again because my computer froze. And since I'm the one that's recording, I don't know if that. So if you could take it from the top of your response.
And what was that? She said, I have another page. You want to start from there or go before that?
Sorry, John, you were cutting out.
Oh, look, Q don't.
I think it's the weather because it's so nasty outside.
Q froze.
Yeah, no, but you just froze on me and Savitra just now.
Yeah,
now you're freezing really bad.
Wow.
Yeah, we can hear you good. John, you might have to come upstairs where the signal is better because I think because the weather, because you were just frozen for like that whole time. And okay, we can see you now, John.
Okay, what about now? Because it's gonna look.
I mean, you look a little grainy.
Let's just try to wrap it. If not, then.
Okay.
So look.
Savitra,
do you want me to come out and come back in real quick?
No, you're good because we heard the question. It was just when she started answering. So Savitra, we'll pick it up again from you.
What was I?
When John was asking you about a new venture, well, you were talking about your new venture because you said with Era.
Oh, the hairstyling. Yeah.
So just pretend like John had just asked you if there's anything else you wanted to add. And then also, Savitra, if you could talk about some of the products, give the website, if you can give that, because I'll put it at the bottom of the screen, but for the people listening to the podcast that can't see it, if you could give the name of your website and the name, like, we know it's New Era, but let the audience know how they can go online to order from you.
And I wanted to share a fun fact with them too. Like with creators, I'm not sure if y'all ever read that article, but did you know they say like people that normally get up late or sleep late, they're like the most creative. And I'm not a morning person. Like I go to sleep at like 3 and I get up at like 11 or 12, but those are said to be the smartest.
I'm the opposite of that.
What?
I'm an early bird. Yeah. Okay. Let's record before John okay. Oh my God, we are recording. When did I hit record? We never stopped. Okay, maybe I hit it on accident. Sorry.
Well, you're editing. We got to edit this, Q.
I know. I'm gonna have to edit this a lot. Okay. All right. So, thanks, John. Okay. So, pick it up from your new venture. Basically, John just asked you, is there anything else you want to add or tell us about?
Oh, I recently got into just kind of decade styling, era styling. So I think I've done it twice. The first time I did a 1940s look, I was inspired kind of just by, I think something I'd seen. Like I wanted to become more comfortable in styling for decades. Like I can style for the present time, but actually going back into like the 20s and the 30s. So that's something that I kind of started doing and I actually enjoy it a lot. So I'm trying to figure out the next decade that I want to kind of style for and just do something fun. But when it comes to photo shoots, if someone is looking for it, I can do it. It's not something that I like put out there like, yeah, I do this all the time. But I'm always happy to help if someone is looking to create a look for any type of event or something that they're doing. I am always available for that as well.
Now,
okay, well, just since you
Oh, sorry, John. What about personal styling? So like if there's a creative entrepreneur who's looking to put themselves out there and they want or they need a personal stylist to help them like, to dress for events or, if they have to do interviews or if they're a host or if they have a speaking engagement, is that something that you do too?
Yeah.
You sure?
By appointment, but yeah, I say like by appointment. Personal styling is unique because sometimes what you notice is people really aren't ready to try something new. I've done that for a while, and it's always hard to break people out of habit. But I'm always happy to help because that's actually the best part of the process is working with someone on the confidence to just kind of try something new. But those services are available. It's not something that's advertised, but if someone were to reach out to me and say, hey, I'm looking to do whatever, yes, I am always down to do something new. The only thing that I ask is that you are open-minded to change, which can be hard. But when you are looking to explore different types of, styling options, I think you have to kind of be ready for that, or you'll kind of leave with the same thing that you always wear. So I just think that's just the biggest part on the client's part is just to kind of be open-minded to try new pieces. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, actually, speaking of this olive branch invitation, actually, I want to actually, I'm just going to invite myself. I guess we could do. No, I do want to get with you on some couple of ventures. I know we actually going to work on a couple of things, but no, that's amazing. I do love the fact that you go into these eras, and hopefully if I could meet your criteria, I wouldn't mind DMing you about a certain era, and I definitely know which era that's going to be. I'll DM you and send you an email. And
John, this is not the time for your personal consultation.
Man, we about to get it because I don't want her to do it, because if she do this one and not include me, I'm gonna feel bad. I'm gonna feel left out. So you can do this one and do this one, but this one right up in this middle, just say that for me. I'm joking with you.
So he putting it out there so all the listeners are his witness and I'm his witness, and it's out there for the world now.
I'm coming.
So basically,
I'm coming.
Yes, and I agreed to do it. So I am a woman of my word. So
now we really got to hold you accountable. Yes. Well, Savitra, we're not going to hold you too much longer today, but I would be remiss if I did not show for our subscribers on YouTube who are watching the podcast. And if you are listening to the podcast on one of the available platforms, please be sure to subscribe. It's just Elevated Creativity Podcast on YouTube. So I recently ordered my Cafe Noir. Is it Cafe Noir Women's Empowerment or just Cafe Noir Empowerment Journal?
Cafe Noir Empowerment Journal.
Okay, so the Cafe Noir Empowerment Journal, which is really cute. If you see here, it says Cafe Noir. And first of all, y'all know we like to get, especially as Black women, we love products with images that reflect ourselves. Okay, no offense to other, races out there. But, and then on the back, it has this nice picture that ties into her theme, of the career, the career fashion and styles. And one of the things I love about the journal is that it has a scripture on every page. And I haven't broken this in yet, but I'm definitely like, as a writer, I'm always writing. Literally have 4 journals on my desk right now as we speak. And I'm not going to promote those because they're not the guests on the show right now. But I ordered this from her website. So Savitra, we're going to let you give the website. The price, if you don't mind me saying, was $12, plus shipping. And I was a little upset with Savitra because the main thing I wanted was the planner, because it's January, it's a new year, 2021. And I'm like, okay, I need a planner. I was in Hobby Lobby, didn't find nothing I wanted. And when I saw yours, I was like, oh, bet, that's what I'm getting. But they're so popular, they were out of stock. So, which is a good thing. Congratulations on that. But she got me on the waiting list. So when they're ready, Q gonna get her planner. So, as we get ready to wrap it up, Savitra, if you could just give the audience, the name of your website. And again, on the YouTube channel, we'll put it at the bottom of the screen. But for those who may be riding in the car, they can listen to it, as well as your social media handles so people can follow you. And they definitely want to follow your Instagram page, because like I said, I'm always inspired by it. And like you said, in your caption, you always give good tips and pointers. And things like that. And you just really inspire me to do better with dressing, especially because I work from home. So I do miss going into the office because I used to be able to dress cute. Right now, my office is my home, but I try to spruce it up when I go to different meetings and stuff like that. So even though a lot of us are working from home now, it doesn't mean that we have to wear pajamas 24/7, right? There's still ways to incorporate, fashion. So Savitra, if you could go ahead and just, give us all of that good information.
Yeah, so if you would like to check out some of the pieces and items that we have online, like I said, we are a career and lifestyle brand. So we recently launched the lifestyle section, which does include things such as stationaries and drinkware, things of that sort. You can find us at www.neweraofstyle.com, and that's NEWERAOFSTYLE.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at New Era _of Style. And our men's page is New Era of Style for Men. I think that's right. I have to go back and look at the men's page.
Well, just email it to me and I'll make sure it's right at the end. And that's cool. I didn't even know you had a separate men page. So there you go,
John. I mean, we got something.
I'm sure you was already following. Oh, Lord. I know John John is so, let me tell you about John. He claims to be this behind the scenes person. John tries to take over the show in front of the camera. Savitra know too, because she's done photo shoots with us. And John will bring the personality.
All the personality. Every time.
But
gotta love it.
We gotta make it fun. Let me tell you something, man. Maya Angelou said something amazing. People don't always remember what you say. They don't always remember what you tell them, but they do remember how you made them feel. And I like to make people feel good, and that's, just within your, but your personality. But I want to tell you one thing about you. You have an amazing personality. Yeah. You have such a way of inspiring people for both walks of life, as far as male or female, and just anybody. You know what I'm saying? You give off a good aura and just and who you are. That's why I love working with you, Q, as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? working with Q as well. Like y'all amazing. To all our listeners out there, for real, and we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Y'all make sure you guys follow New Era of Style. She got the drip. And we talking about the drip. Come on now, you're gonna need an umbrella. Ooh. She got the real drip. Now, if y'all don't like the drip, let me go drip away real quick. She don't have the drip, she got the sauce. Because the sauce a little thicker than the drip. You know what I'm saying? That drip evaporate. Look at it, come on now. Y'all see these fedoras? Y'all see it?
Y'all see these convertible bags we have?
I love that bag. I love that bag.
I seen it. I seen it. Bam. Bam. Hold on. So about this, look. So all my YouTube people, listen, everybody, like even talking about just dressing. So you don't always have to just fit a mold. You could be a prototype. And if you understand anything about cars and cars and just lifestyle, a prototype is like, okay, we're gonna have this prototype of this vehicle that is like a concept. You can be a concept. You ain't gotta just try to just fit the mold, break the mold, be yourself. And she will help you with that. She gonna bring the drip out there. Yeah. But y'all make sure y'all follow her.
No, John, I was gonna add some little sprinkles to the sauce.
Come on now. Put a little seasoning on here, Q. Come on, let's go.
Savitra, because we gotta hype you up because we know you. Okay.
And you're amazing.
And we work with you. And you not only bring talent and wisdom from the styling perspective, as in like your stuff, but your personality. And John and I have spoke about that on other episodes about the importance of personalities on set, because you have a lot of, when you're dealing with creatives in general, y'all know it. We're different. We're like you say, how you felt like you were always different and weird and special, all of us. And so you put all of us together on a project, it can go some interesting ways, but you're definitely one of those people who has a genuine spirit. You hype us up like nobody else. When I came out of my little retirement, you were so excited and so inspired.
Come on now, Q. Yes.
And so inspirational even to me, because I remember we had that, I don't know if it was a verbal conversation or a text message. However we were communicating, I remember you just literally almost brought me to tears because you're just so genuine in your compassion for people and wanting to see others win and succeed. And I think that's why you in turn get that back. And that's why you are succeeding and excelling in your journey, because you put so much positivity out there, Savitra. So we love you so much. And thank you so much
for you guys too.
Podcast.
Most
just taking it further and further up. We are elevating.
Come on now. Elevating creativity, but like we said again, guys, make sure y'all support. Sharing is caring. If you know anybody that need a little help, fashion wise, styling wise, anything, sharing is free. Support.
Or if you have a project, if you have a film project, if you have a television project, and you're in need of a stylist, like she said, she gave us her Instagram handles, her social media pages, website, email, all of that'll be on the screen. All of that'll be in the show notes. And John, sorry, were you going to add something else to that?
I just want to tell everybody real quick, what I'm saying? A beautiful lady once told me, she said, I always remember, God can cause opportunity to find you, and his timing is always right. So one of my country cliches, and I like to give it up, never mix nation with perfect time, you know what I'm saying? So
hold on, John, get it to us one more time. John, you got to give it to us one more time because it's freezing up.
Hey, and it's already patent pending, people. You know what I'm saying? One of these country cliches is never mix procrastination with perfect timing. And when God a part of it, his time is always right. So you know what I'm saying? Let's get down to it, and let's just keep going. Let's keep grinding and shining. And always remember, when you work, put the work in. This young lady showed you everything wasn't easy, everything wasn't to you. So when you think of like with women in society, you think things just handed to them or whatever. When you put the work in, you will see the fruits of your labor. So with that being said, y'all take care. And this has been another great episode of the Elevated Creativity Podcast. Follow us on all media platforms and follow this young queen right here and just support.
All right, you guys heard it there. Thank you again, Savitra, and we will catch you guys on the next episode of the Elevated Creativity Podcast. Bye.
Yep.